Well, hello there, my friends. Welcome back to our Sandinista campaign as we try and spread the revolution throughout the rest of Central America. Now, guys, we are still doing our best to build up our army because right now, let's be honest, we don't have anything really to speak of as an army. We can't even keep these current divisions basically staffed long enough to keep on building more troops. So that's one thing that we really need to improve. And I'm not sure how we can possibly increase the population. Maybe there's some sort of political move we can make eventually to increase the birth rate, but I just don't think so. So we're really going to have to rely on the neighboring states and maybe even trying to get an alliance with another socialist state. Unfortunately, around us, most of the countries are authoritarian democrats, except for Mexico, and I'm not sure if they would even be willing to join up with us. So they would give us license production. That's pretty cool. It's also plus 25 political power for us because of the Day of Independence, but really not pushing us any closer to our goal. And it doesn't look like the Mexicans will necessarily support us, but we can always try to improve relations with Mexico. As you can see, though, they're already pretty warm, 115 out of a possible 200. So we'll just try to keep things as they are. Let's hope that if we need their help, that Mexico will come and assist us. And it looks like there's also a federation, guys, that's been formed fairly close to us, and that is the West Indies Federation. We're, of course, going to stay away from them for now. They're not a socialist federation, and that's what we're waiting for. Trying to maybe promote a revolution in one of these countries, I don't know if it works in this particular mod. And I don't know if it's something we want to focus on, but it's a potential if we can do it. Right now, what we're basically doing, guys, is we're waiting for the next unlock to come, the Revolution for Peace. And at that point, we can see if we don't take complete control of the country. Sick of German oppression and the disaster of Black Monday, it looks like the Belgians have risen up. Okay, once again, the Sandinistas will be deployed, and this is, of course, once again trying to stop, a protest going on from the Social Democrats. And there we go. So Belgium has declared independence. That is quite interesting. And what's going on here? Unassigned divisions. Okay, we'll go ahead and assign them to Sandino's army. Sandino is also our president. So not only is he our military leader, but he's also our president. Talk about a guy that's not afraid to get in the trenches with his troops. Sandino is certainly that case. Another thing I want to ask you guys, for those of you that have enjoyed the series, I want to thank you. Would you prefer if I sort of split the series into parts and cut out like this middle part where we're just kind of waiting for the next thing to unlock? Because this is going to be a pretty long Let's Play, I believe. We need to unlock quite a lot before we have anything looking, even close to a proper army. Looks like Belgium has joined the Reichspakt. It's really weird. So they broke away and then joined the Reichspakt anyway. They declared their independence, but still are working with Germany. And there's an interim government. So they did rise up, and they actually have an interim government, essentially sort of an interim government that's going to essentially decide what the official government will be, and doesn't necessarily represent the people right now, although governments rarely do, right? Come on, let's get that revolution for peace. At this point, just hoping that this manpower will increase. I'm not even sure how much it's going to increase when we go to full conscription, etc. We just have a very small country here in Nicaragua. Not as small as El Salvador, but still very, very small. You can see here compared to Mexico or even Colombia, we are basically like 1/5 the size of Colombia. But we're still technically one of the larger nations in Central America when in comparison with Costa Rica and Panama. And this is what I really want to do, is go south, take Costa Rica, take Panama, hopefully go north, hit Honduras and Guatemala, and create the Central American Federation here. I don't think we can bring Mexico into the fold, but who knows what we can do if we take all of these countries as well. The question is, are we going to be able to do that? A little bit of cafe straight from the Andes, which are nowhere near us. Okay. So I'm curious to see what this will bring about. Hopefully, something where we can actually start forming our faction, or declaring war, justifying war goals eventually. But specifically getting that recruitable population up. I want to see if there's a way to do that. Okay, we also unlocked mechanical computing, guys. That will lower our research time some, so that is great. And I'm trying to think, I really don't think there's anything we can grab here to promote recruitment. But let's jump over to the military either way. Let's at least get a doctrine for now. Oh, the Grand Battle Plan. We'll try this. Again, we have a pretty small army for a Grand Battle Plan, but anything is possible. And we do have to choose something. I could start researching military police. But I think I want to focus on industry still. So let's go for production here and just get some basic machine tools, increasing our production efficiency. I figure if more people can get jobs in factories, etc., hopefully we can have more kids in the country that eventually lead to a recruitable population in time. But we'll have to wait and see if that actually will happen. Okay, and bring the revolution for peace has been passed. Let's go ahead, select a national focus. And what do we do now, boys? We can't spread the revolution yet. So seizing the countryside is not yet an option, as long as we are always self-dependent. So I'm guessing that this is what we want to go for, but that would, we would need the current ruling party to be the Social Democrats. Here we need the current ruling party to be the Social Liberals. What about this one? So maybe we actually need to put the Social Democrats or the Liberals in here? I'm not sure, guys. That's a bit confusing, to say the least. We can't even build from the ground up. Let's go down here and see if we're missing something. I doubt it. Okay, so maybe this is actually something we need to wait to unlock. Maybe we need to wait for the elections. That certainly could be the case. But then again, the next election is in April 1940. It seems a little odd. Another thing we could do is try and put one of these other parties in power using our actual ministers. But I don't know how that's going to work. Hopefully once we get past this national focus tree. Okay, Sandinista is almost march east. And this, of course, lowers the respect for the Sandinista government. They're just being quite violent at this point. Okay, come on now. Alf Landon elected president of the USA. I have no idea who that is. Okay. Got to free our people. So let's see if maybe there's something we can pass over here. Some sort of minister we can get. I think for now we just have to continue. Okay, so this is interesting. I'm already seeing all these other occupations that could potentially mean an eventual war from the U.S. Interesting. So we have to wait until we can make our move against America. So I definitely think, guys, this is a countdown. It has to be. We already have one of them. So we're essentially just waiting for us to make that move against the United States. When that occurs, I'm not sure. If you guys want to take a guess, please feel free. And that's definitely something we want to consider. It might be just a question of being able to have enough, men in the army to make a move against them. I really want to get that to all adults serve, but it looks like we can't yet do that. And we can't yet enact conscription laws, which is unfortunate. So we can send volunteer forces. I wonder if that means that maybe world tension has to go up. At that point, once we can get a war going, or once they get a war going, maybe we can send some volunteer forces to help the Commune of France, and that will catapult us into negative enough relations with the USA that they will get into a fight with us. But so far, we're pretty much at a standstill here with Nicaragua's focus tree until the U.S. does something. Here we go. American unrest grows. Great. So our chance could come soon. Protests, internal political strife, etc. We could also essentially wait for the American Revolution, which almost always occurs here in KaiserReich. Wow, I really had to think about that for a second. Hard to focus and try to come up with a name at the same time here in KaiserReich. So we'll see what happens. But that American Revolution, once it occurs, I think that's when we can break away. Now that the socialists are in power, we really need to make that grab soon, because currently the political power is not very strong. The socialists are consistently getting into violent actions against protesters. We need to solidify our power, and soon, or else somebody could pretty much wipe us out very, very quickly here. All right, let's see. We've got some divisions that are pretty much ready to deploy. I'm going to drop these guys, for instance, have them go ahead and join the army. But again, even having enough men, guys, to, refill these divisions from, just basic losses of men running away from the army or dying of disease or injury, even that's hard. So we're barely doing that. I think what we'll do right now is let's get these guys on a proper border, get them on a front line here. It's not going to be much of a front line, but it's as good as we can do. So let's send them right there to Honduras and just get them on the front. We've got proper border duties there. Okay, nice. We got the basic machine tools, guys. We got the trench warfare. And now we're just waiting for the United States to fall apart. I'm going to go for dispersed industry here. And let's do something for the troops. Get some basic motorized units, some trucks, etc. I think that's only fair that we get those guys set up. Let's see if any of these guys can increase the recruitable population. They can't. I like this one, the division organization and division recovery rate. Let's go for that. It has begun. Okay, there we go, guys. 100 political power, and America has broken up into the combined syndicates, the American Union, etc. And now we can select a national focus, and that's going to be seizing the countryside. This is tough. I'm not sure if it's going to go well or if the United States is going to fight back, or we could try to spread the revolution. So a more internationalist sentiment where we try to free Honduras. I like this one, guys. We're going to go for this one, spreading the revolution. Let's just hope that we can back it up with power. Honduras is, of course, to our north. We've just gotten on the border with them. I don't think we have nearly enough men to unlock or to beat them right now, but hopefully in time we will be able to. And the Second American Civil War has officially begun. Let's just hope we don't have to go into war immediately, because we are not ready for it, to be honest. I think that this just gives us the option of spreading the revolution. All right, seizing the countryside, guys. It's only going to take 14 days. It's not too bad at all. And we also have political decisions available. Wow. Okay, so we can actually declare Monro dead. This would end the Monro Doctrine. Whew. Let's do it, guys. We're going to declare Monro dead. Let's hope this doesn't send us right into war with the United States. But we're absolutely going to do that for the good of our country. And it's only going to take 8 days to actually institute it. At that point, hopefully, we can continue unlocking these ideologies, etc., and just continue with the progress of this nation, or its ultimate downfall. Once again, it looks like we're going to have to wait a bit for that next national focus. A failed army coup in Tokyo. Wow. So it looks like elements of the Imperial Army actually tried to take power away from the Emperor. Pretty crazy stuff. The Emperor seems to have stopped that, but who knows what that means for Japan here going into the future. We're going to have to wait and see. It could be pretty serious. In the meantime, I think we just have to keep on progressing, guys. We've definitely let the enemy know, or the Americans know, that we are no longer their puppets. But the question really is, how far is this going to go? What's going to happen to us? And what's this march east? Let's take a look here, guys. Okay. While the eastern part of our country wasn't officially demilitarized, the firm statement from the United States saying move an inch and we'll send you packing 10 miles prevented our troops from moving into... Bullet! Vita! This looks like Bullet, guys, is concerned about the American capital sneaking into our country. Bullet, come here, Bullet. And we're going to go ahead and continue here, guys. Interesting, the Russian alliance. So let's take a look at this March East thing. The eastern part of your country prevented our troops from moving into the areas that weren't already liberated by the revolution. With America no longer watching, we're free to send our enemies packing and rescue our people. We're going to do it, guys. It's going to give us some political power, and it's going to show the Americans we mean business. It also means that we might be able to extend that border, or the border defense, I should say, without worrying about any American retaliation, because they're just too busy focusing on other problems right now. So there you go. Nice little border that, basically anything east of Matagalpa, they don't want troops there, but we're about to stop that. And the concern here is really that they don't want us messing with their Panama Canal. They have a really nice trade thing going here, and the last thing they need is us getting in the way of that. But we'll see if that's what we end up wanting to do. Okay, the first Spartacade's opening ceremony held in Marseille and attended by dignitaries and athletes from around the socialist world. This is essentially, guys, the socialist version of the Olympics. And it looks like the moving of our troops in the eastern half of Nicaragua has caused mass celebration among the people, with bread being handed out to the marching troops as they continue to liberate the countryside. So this comes with mass approval, of course, from our people. We'll probably redraw those lines very soon here, and we can probably even do another decision here. Oh, we're still waiting for that March East to finish. That's concerning. So that leads me to believe that there could be some issues with that March East. We'll have to wait and see. Yeah, Bullet's really watching out for those capitalists, man. He knows that they could attack at any time. So he's a bit of a reactionary. There's not much we can do about it. Okay, we've taken some gold medals, and for such a small country, that is pretty amazing, guys. So it looks like the Patagonian Workers' Front has risen up. And we're the victors of the Spartacade. That's amazing. So Nicaragua actually has the best athletes in the entire socialist world. Certainly a positive thing for us. It also looks like now we finally have the initiative to move on, guys. What can we follow? It's going to be from the ground up. Interesting. So, suffering under the American occupation and constant crisis, our nation remained one of the poorest in Latin America. When the revolution finally threw off the Yankee yoke, our exports grew smaller still. We need to build our economy, else our country will fall behind even faster. And with how sorry it is now, the reconstruction must be comprehensive. This is going to take a long time, but that's absolutely something we want to focus on from the ground up, building this country back up and turning it into a semi-functioning country. We'll see if that can be done. Okay. Known as the poorest country within Central America, constant crisis, military occupation by the United States, and the subsequent revolution left our country dry. So right now, it looks like we really, really want to move to a brighter future. Let's see what we can do from here. We might have to wait a little bit. No, we still have a national focus. What's the next move we want to make? So I think we need to stop U.S. influence before we can move this way. Jack of all trades. The Great Depression and Black Monday have shown beyond a doubt the economic ruin can rear its ugly head on a whim. On account of our reliance on fruit exports, our economy is even more vulnerable than most to such disastrous economic cycles. we must diversify. Okay, fair enough. So we can really go for some interesting approaches. It looks like we got bananas, coffee, all sorts of different things that we can really focus on to improve our economy, and that's the road we're going down. Well, guys, this is definitely a very, very slow but enjoyable Let's Play. So if you guys want this to continue, make sure to hit that like button, comment down below, subscribe if you're new, and share with other people in the Hearts of Iron 4 community. This is such a tiny country, Nicaragua here, but I hope that we can bring it to greatness, and I think we're on the path. Thanks again, guys. Take care. I'll catch you on the next one.